Hello, this is Brian Hayden once again, your friendly archaeologist, talking from the rain coast of North America on the west coast here. It's a nice sunny day again, and I'd like to talk to you today about games and gambling in the prehistoric past. So to begin with, we find gambling in a lot of generalized hunting and gathering societies. And you may remember we've got this distinction between generalized or simple hunting and gathering societies and more complex ones, like the ones here on the northwest coast. And we know from a lot of the documentation of other ethnographers that hunting and gathering peoples everywhere seem to like to gamble. And some of the films by James Woodburn on the Hadza, he shows them gambling and but they're gambling for arrows or feathers or minor stuff, and the consequences are not great. If they lose all their arrows, they go out and make some more. Okay, so that's the level of gambling for generalized hunting and gathering societies. What we get with complex hunting and gathering societies that have a lot of wealth is that the stakes become much higher. And as a result, when you start gambling, you can lose all of your wealth. You can even gamble away your children or your wife or your own freedom, and you can become an indebted slave. So the stakes become much, much higher. And it's often related to spiritual power. And therefore, there's a lot of spiritual aspects to it, chants and meditations and things like that. So on the northwest coast here and throughout most of northwest North America, there was a game called La Halle, which basically involved having a number of bones like this, and usually one of them is marked and two of them are unmarked. In this set, there's two of them that are marked and one that's unmarked. And it's like the shell game. Basically, you put them in your hands and then you manipulate them back and forth, and then you put them behind, you're supposed to be behind your back, but I'll put them behind my head here, and you shift them around, and then and you do some chanting while you're doing that, and then you hold out your hands and your opponent has to guess which hand the marked or the unmarked one is in. And if he wins, then you lose whatever you're gambling, and it goes on from there. Okay, so that's the nature of gambling and game. A lot of the games, they were often held at major feasts, major celebrations, and so we're pretty sure that this is fairly widespread, especially among complex hunting and gathering societies. And so in the book that I wrote about Sèvres in the Upper Paleolithic in France, the Eyes of the Leopard, gambling, we call the game toka, but the gambling is a major feature in that book. And if, if you're keen on seeing what it might have been like, by all means, go out and check it out. It's available at most bookstores or through them at any rate, and online at Amazon. So yeah, it's an interesting feature of human nature, and it's interesting to see how far back these big stakes gambling go on or originate from, back into the Upper Paleolithic. At least I feel fairly confident that that's the case. Okay, so that's what I have to say about gambling. I've also got some information I'd like to share about counting. You may think counting is pretty nonplussed. It's pretty normal, regular stuff. But no, there's a lot of interesting things about counting. Okay, so we'll talk about that next time. Okay, bye-bye.